Hi guys, this is Judith and I'm back with part 3 of my first resin pour project. I mounted the alcohol ink painting on the wood panels and let it dry overnight, and now it's time to cut off the sides. So I'm cutting along those edges really close to the wood. I'm using an X-Acto knife. Just make sure it's sharp, and also I'm using a cutting mat to protect the surface of the table. Here you can see that I'm leading the knife really close along the edge. It's a little bit tricky work and quite frankly the least favorite part of the whole project. I'm just not that great at cutting close by, so you need to be careful that you're not cutting into the wood and that you're still staying really close on the wood panels. You don't want anything overstanding. So I sped up a little bit the process here. Basically, I do that for all 4 wood panels, cut them to size. And now it's time to move into the studio and start with the resin project. Safety first. Art resin tells me that there is no harmful chemicals, but I really want to stress that safety is first, so I'm using a respirator while doing that resin pour. I also protected my work surface with just cut open trash bags and a cookie sheet. I'm using art resin, and it's a 2-part resin, so you need the resin plus the hardener. You mix it together, and for that I'm using one of those disposable measuring cups and of course a stir stick to mix those 2 liquids together. It's really important to use the right measurements. It has to be exactly 1:1 parts, so 50-50. I also use gloves because resin is a messy situation. And these tiny little cups I use to elevate the art because the resin will drop down and I want to make sure that it's not pooling at the edge of the painting. It's really important to have the art level. And now I start to mix. Art resin has on their webpage actually calculator, so you can calculate from the size of your artwork exactly how much you need. In my case, I needed 6 ounces, so I poured 3 ounces of resin and 3 ounces of hardener. Using the wooden stir stick, you mix the liquid for 3 minutes. I made sure that I didn't mix too vigorously, else you'll just create too many bubbles. So now I'm pouring straight onto the alcohol ink painting. And while the art resin is self-leveling, I help it along with a spatula, just spreading it already a little bit in the corners. It will move into the corners eventually in any way. I just thought to be on the sure side, I move it along. Here you see me popping a few of the bubbles. And then I use a butane torch, which is like a crème brûlée torch, to dissolve all the little surface bubbles. There were still a couple of them left, so I used the stir stick to pop those and then went over with the torch again. And that's kind of, I took care the first 30 minutes or 1 hour after I poured the resin just checking that there are no bubbles, and if there were any, quickly dissolving them with the creme brulee torch. So now that's done, I cover it. I cover the paintings to make sure that there is no dust coming, and wait 24 hours. Hi guys. I let the resin cure 24 hours and I'm removing now the frog tape. And it removes nicely on the areas where there is no resin, but you can see where there are the glossy parts where some resin dripped down. I use the heat gun to pre-soften the resin, and then it's actually much easier to remove the tape. There's still some little bits and pieces, but I use then the heat gun again to soften and then just scratched it off. So here you see me soften this little bit there, and then I use simply my fingernail to peel it off. Okay, that worked great. Now I just have to do the same with the others. Here's now the finished project. I love the glossiness and how vibrant the colors are looking. The gold is also very shimmery. Thank you for following me along with this project, and if you want, please check out my Facebook page.